So why do I have two nearly identical PXG Gen 5 0311 drivers in my hand? Well, I've been custom fit for this one, and then I went back for a tech check and got custom fit for this one. All right, so let's start swinging with the first driver that I was fit for back in mid-December. We're going to start hitting some balls here on the SkyTrack. We're going to be watching for ball speed. We've got spin metrics here as well, launch angle, carry total, and I'll tell you the story as we swing away here. Oh, that one was off the bottom. Straight, but off the bottom. So this driver that I was originally fit for, actually that's not a bad backspin at 2500 for off the bottom grooves. This first driver I was fit for was in mid-December, and it was about 49 degrees out when I got fit for it, and I was wearing 3 layers of clothing. So I drove about an hour and a half down to Pinehurst where there was a fitting van. Really looking forward to it, a couple weeks before Christmas. And so, ooh, line ball. I was spraying everything off to the right. My slice was in full effect, and it was really difficult for the fitter to get me into something that was going to straighten out my hits. And he said, look, you're going to have to work on your swing path before I can really get you into something that's going to work for you. But what I'll do is I'll get you into a 7.5 degree head. We're going to crank it up to 9 degrees because when you crank up the loft on your driver, you actually end up closing that face. So by going up 1.5 degrees, which you can do on the PXG drivers, got me up to 9 degrees. It towed in the driver face so that now I was kind of more biased towards hitting a draw. We wanted to take care of that slice. He also put me in a stiff shaft. So in order to help my dispersion off to the right, he wanted to put me in a low torque shaft. And so he put me into the Tensei White extra stiff, and we cut it by 1 inch. Right, so it's 1 inch shorter than typical, so it's 44.5 inches. All right, let's get a good one here. These are all so low. Seven and a half degree head, while it's cranked up to 9 degrees, it's just so difficult for me to get up into the air. You can see that last shot was 11 degree shot. I did kind of peel it off to the right a bit. Now the spin numbers were good. Ball speed numbers are a little slow, but for a fade, 2400 backspin is really quite good. So, it definitely has some low spin properties to it. Let's see if I can get a draw on some of these because I know I was hitting it a little bit better in the last video. All right, very typical shot. Look at that, only 8 degrees. Now that was off the bottom. I know some of these other ones have been closer to 10 or 11 degrees of launch, but that's not what I want. Even though my swing speed, as you can see, the imputed swing speed there is 98. Technically, I should have been fit into a stiff all day long. So, we're getting our ball speeds up here. That one wasn't the best strike. It was pretty solid. You can see center, 140 mile per hour ball speed. That's pretty decent. And 2700 backspin is pretty decent. Again, it was a little low off the face, but that 9 degree launch is way too low. I'm not going to optimize carry with something like that. So the other thing the fitter did during the first fitting as I was slicing my balls off the planet was that he put customized weights in the driver. So one of the reasons why I wanted to upgrade to this one from the regular PXG 0211 was because of the weight ports. As you guys may know, there are 3 weight ports here. So there's one in the back, there's one way here at the toe, and there's one way here at the heel. There really isn't a driver on the market like it. And so you've got just the ultimate in customization from weight perspective and then also ball flight perspective. So we've got a 17.5 gram weight in the back, which is the heaviest that PXG makes. We have a 5 gram weight in the toe, and then we've just got the regular 2 gram. It's the lightest they make. We've got the 2 gram weight in the back. So most of the weight is towards the face, which is going to give me that low spin kind of property. But also, with the weight being the heaviest in the heel and light in the toe, significantly lighter in the toe, it is going to help me kind of shut that face faster. And that's what we were working on, again, on a very cold day down in Pinehurst, was trying to get me to straighten out my drives. And so that is the weight setup that came from the PXG factory when I got my driver 2 days before Christmas. Oh, that felt good too. Be good. Oh, another push. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. All right, there we go. 232, 259. Best shot of the day, 141. Ball speed, 96 mile per hour. Club head speed. That's imputed, by the way. It doesn't measure it. And 2400 backspin, 14-degree launch. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the rest of these shots with the extra stiff shaft. I'll come back and show you the second fitted driver that I received yesterday. All right, so now we're on to my second fit driver. Let's give this a smack, and I will tell you about this one. Oh, that felt good. Be right. Woo! Little draw. Center ball. Center ball. Ooh. Okay, what a banger to start off with. Take a look at the stats. So 138 ball speed. I mean, it's not over 140. That's not truly extraordinary at all. 94 mile per hour imputed swing speed. The key here, though, is nice backspin, 2400. 15-degree launch, which is definitely closer to what I want as far as optimizing carry goes. And, just a tiny bit of side spin on it. Nice little draw right down the fairway, 255. So already out of the gate, we are rivaling what we did with basically the best shot of the entire first batch with the first driver. Let's see if we can keep it going here. Oh, be good. All right, curling a little bit off to the right. Take a look at the height on that. 222, 243 total, 3,300 backspin. When you end up fading them like that, it is going to fade on you. Now this club is a 9-degree, as you can see, and we left it in a 9-degree. We played with putting it up to 10 for a little bit more of a launch, but we decided to keep it right at 9. But it's a square club face now. It's not toed in at all. The other thing is we went to a stiff shaft. Obviously you can see here my swing speed is not 105 mile per hour plus, 110. So there's no reason for me to have an extra stiff shaft in there. In fact, I'm probably leaving distance on the table with that extra stiff shaft that was in the first driver. Ooh, that felt solid too. Look at that, nice little draw. Keep going. 226 carry, 255 total. I think that matched the first one. 142 ball speed, which is great. 2,200 backspin. Nice. Thank you. As far as the shaft goes, We actually hit a number of shafts, but this is the top shaft that the PXG fitter mentioned that is pretty much most popular with the mid-handicappers with any amount of swing speed, and it's the Diamana Black. So it's a 60 gram stiff flex. Of course, Diamana is made by Mitsubishi. They have amazing shafts. So again, it's got a little bit more of a width to it. I actually, kind of bent them slightly over my knee when I opened this one up, and you can feel there's more flex there. So hopefully that gives me a little more pop at the end of my hit here, and a little bit more distance instead of trying to hit with a piece of lumber. And I felt that face just a slightly bit open as well. It's carrying it though, 230 almost. 253, 142 ball speed, almost 3,000 RPM, but hey, that's not bad for a ball that kind of peeled off to the right. So the weights in this club, it's an important difference, right? So instead of having just a hugely massive weight in the heel, we've only got a 10 gram weight there, okay? When I went for the fitting, it was 75 degrees and sunny on my second fitting, so I was able to swing much more loosely, much more freely, and I was actually hitting the balls relatively straight this time, and so that's why we were able to get into a configuration that I think suits my game better. So we've only got a 10 gram weight in the heel. We've got a 5 gram weight in the toe just for added stability. We originally had the 2 gram weight there, and it was just a little too light. The club face felt a little unstable for me. It felt a little whippy. Some of my toe hits were really going right, and so we needed just a little bit more stability there. And then I've just got the base 2 gram weight in the back, which is the lowest that they offer. The other thing that I will say on this new spec driver is that it's the regular length, okay? It was one of the first shafts he put me in. It was 45.5 inches. Your TaylorMades, your Callaways are 45 3/4, so it's still shorter by 1/4 of an inch, but it is an inch longer than my other PXG driver. Oh, that felt absolutely middled. Go. Get over 240. Woo! 240 on the button. Wow. Okay. 144 mile per hour ball speed, imputed swing speed of 98, so I'm getting closer to 100 miles an hour there. Wow, 2600 backspin, beautiful, launch angle 15 degrees. 240 carry, which I think is the longest today out of either club, and 265 yards total. And for me, that is a very solid drive. So I'm just gonna wrap up the hitting here with this second driver. Let's take a look at the stats. All right, so let's take a look at the stats, guys. This is the first club here. We've got, if you look over here at the right hand column, an imputed club head mile per hour swing of 95. All right, so they're actually equal. I think the other one is 95 as well. So let's start with the first one. It's shorter, extra stiff shaft, 7.5 degree head, different weighting. We've got ball speed of 139, backspin of 2700, which isn't bad. The launch degree though, 10.4. There's a couple low ones in there that I could probably take out. There's an 8.3 there. There's a 9.2. You know, those are ones hit lower off the face, but I'll tell you what, when I get to the second club in a second, the ones hit lower off the face with the second club were closer to 13 degrees. And so I did get more launch on the second one. So, 10.5 degrees is just not going to cut it. The total carry then is 215, and it's rolling out to 241 with a peak height here of 17 yards. You times that by 3 even to get the foot there, and it's well shy of 60 feet in the air. So these are just shots. You can see kind of here the gray or the white drives, right, just so low Now they're consistent, they're all kind of either straight or going off to the right a little bit, but just look at how much shorter that ball flight is compared to the green ones and the yellow ones, which are with the second driver. So let's go back and take a look at the shot history and then take a look at the stats from the second driver. Now, the longest one with the first driver was my last hit, right? So it was 232 carry, 259 total. Did I get any other ones in the 250s? No. So this one, the second driver, was pretty impressive. So I've got 11 shots here. Again, the club head speed is 95 miles per hour, so I swing it just as quickly as the first one. So the extra inch on this club really didn't compute to extra swing speed. But the ball speed was 140. That's 1 mile per hour more than the other one. And the launch here is what's most important, 14.2. If I go ahead and we take a look at the longest shot, I've got a 265-yard shot in here that was just absolutely perfect. I think we caught that on video. 2600 backspin, 15-degree launch, 144 ball speed, which was the fastest ball speed here on the second one. In fact, I think it's probably the fastest of them all. Yeah, there's a couple of 143s in here, but 144 was the fastest of them all, and it was a 240 carry, 265 total. If I go ahead and actually just kind of collapse these and show averages only. Again, top club is the first fit club. Bottom one is the club that I received yesterday. The carry is 11 yards longer, 215 to 226, just because of that launch angle. The backspin is nearly identical. And so overall, the total distance is 10 yards longer, 251 over 241. And the height is significantly higher there, 25 yards times 3, so it's about 75 foot high in the air, which is pretty ideal for a driver. And there's not much more that I can say there. It just worked out in my favor, and it did take some tinkering. So the winner by far is the driver that I just opened up. We had a chance because my swing was better. It was warmer outside. I was just wearing a single layer. We had the opportunity to play around more with the shafts. I hit about 4 different shafts, and we kind of stuck with his first gut instinct. I even hit another shaft that was a $100 upcharge and decided that wasn't any better than this one. We got to tinker around with the weights. I can't stress how important this was during the fitting process. We had a 2-gram weight in the toe, and the ball was going all over the place, especially when I'm hitting it out closer to the toe. It was flying to the left, falling out of the air, low spin. We put 5 in here, just added more stability to the club overall. Like, that's the kind of fine tuning that you can get when you're actually striking the ball pretty well and you're going for a fitting. Now, I know that there's YouTube guys out there, hey, doesn't matter if you go for a ball fitting and your swing's not exactly on. Hey, that's great. We could help you with your bad shots. Well, I tell you what, you want to be hitting the ball pretty well when you go for a fitting, because otherwise the fitter won't know what to do with your swing. He's going to try to correct that big slice that you maybe have or that big hook that you really have. Instead of fine-tuning things, he's going to put you in extreme settings in order to fight or counteract those slices or hooks, instead of really kind of working to fine-tune the settings on the driver to give you something that's going to give you that optimal carry, optimal total distance. So I'd highly advise getting fit when you're hitting the ball well. Tell me some stories, comment down below. Have you ever been custom fit for a driver twice? Have you been fit for a driver and then played around with it on a launch monitor subsequently and gone back and tweaked some of the settings in order to get something that was actually better than what the professional fit you into? Comment down below. Of course, if you like the video, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit bell notifications. I'm pouring out a ton of new product reviews and launch and golf tips in order to help you mid and high handicappers get your scores down. We'll talk to you soon.